Thank you, AC. Appreciate everybody being here. Like AC said, excited to get this week started. Like Mark said, our home opener, playing Tennessee State. Have a lot of respect for Rod Reed, his staff, and his team, his program, what he's done there, the 10 years that he's been there. So this is a team that is coming off a win. They had a nice win against Mississippi Valley State last week. Put up a lot of good numbers on both sides of the ball. So this is a really good football team coming in, and really all three phases of the game. Their kicker, place kicker, kicked 4 field goals. They throw for over 300 yards. They limit Mississippi Valley State to under 300 yards of total offense. So this is a really good football team coming in here. They've got really good skill players. It's a dynamic team. So we know the importance of this game. It's got a little bit of a rivalry back to the OVC days. We haven't played each other in a long time here, so I know our fans, I know their fans will be excited about this game, and hopefully it's a great turnout for our team. So looking forward to getting started, and open up to you guys' questions.
Coach, I know you guys playing Michigan's front seven wasn't easy, and rushing the ball was hard to come by on last Saturday. How important is it to get that going early against a team like Tennessee State?
The running game? Well, we knew it was going to be difficult to run the ball against Michigan last week just because they outnumber the box. They're going to put more guys in the box than you can block, and they're going to force you to throw the ball. They played a little bit more zone coverage than we anticipated going in. Early they played some man, but then they played a lot of zone towards the latter 3 quarters of the game. But no, it's imperative no matter who you play to be able to run the football. It gives you a heck of a lot better opportunity to win the game if you can run it. So I was proud of our offensive line, especially that first group out there, and how they played against Michigan. And we've got to obviously everybody has to improve and clean up some mistakes that we made. But it'll be critical that we but critical that we run the ball a little bit better than what we did last week. But we're not going to force it. If Tennessee State's going to overload the box and make you throw, or they're going to play coverage and keep 6 in the box, 5 in the box, where you've got a better chance to run the ball, we'll do that. We're going to do whatever it takes to win the game.
Coach, last week it seemed like Chris Rowland kind of lined up everywhere on the field for them. How do you kind of contain him, and what makes him so good both as a receiver and in the return game?
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. I think he caught 11 balls for 171, 172 yards. Had some nice returns. He ran the ball a couple times, so he's a very dynamic player. I remember him in high school. His brother played here. So I've been around him for a long time, and he's a really good athlete. He's explosive. He's caught a bunch of balls. I think he's caught over 100 balls in his career at Tennessee State. So he's definitely a guy that we've got to be concerned with, but at the same time they've got a lot of other good players around him as well.
I'm not even sure if any of your players were alive the last time that this rivalry was played. Do you tell them anything about the history, anything like that, or kind of let them figure it out on their own?
No, we met yesterday and didn't really talk about it. It was more about Michigan, cleaning up the Michigan game. And then we talked a little bit about Tennessee State. We know what this game means to us. We know what it means to them. So, it's going to be a great ball game. And as the week progresses, they'll see it, they'll read it, but I'll talk about it. From the old OVC days, this used to be a really big rivalry that hasn't been played in a long time. So, but again, that stuff doesn't determine how you play. And you prepare each week for a team. We never played Michigan before, but we prepared for them, and there's been some history with Tennessee State in the past, but this is the next game. This is the most important game on our schedule, and that's how we'll approach it.
Coach, you had 5 offensive linemen that had not started a Division I game, and right out of the gate have to play Michigan. How did they fare?
Yeah, Chip, I thought those guys really did a nice job. They competed. They didn't back down. We didn't flinch. We won some battles in there, and Michigan won some battles. But I'll say that next Monday as well. But I was really proud of our guys, proud of their effort, their toughness, their competitive spirit that they played with. They did a nice job. And you look at our running stats, and not real impressive, but I don't think that's a true indication of, our offensive line or our quarterback or our backs, and all that. They outnumbered the box, and when teams do that, it makes it tough to run the ball, and we knew that going in, and but I was proud of our offensive line. I thought those guys did a really nice job.
You also had a punter starting his first game in Division I football. Just how would you kind of say that he did, especially with the field position that you guys had to put him in several times?
There was good and bad. He had a nice 51-yard punt, down 1 at the 10 or the 11, in there. Kicked another one that, we should have, you'd like to have been able to get it inside the 20, but he kicked it in the end zone. And, he got some, that last punt, Russ Height, our snapper, was hurt, so we're, putting in a guy that's the first time he's ever snapped the ball in college, and you're snapping off the 1-yard line, and I probably did a bad job of talking to Kyle, and I said, hey, you got to catch that thing and get it out of there, because I was worried about the snap and everything, but got a great snap, Nick snapped a great snap, and he just probably rushed it, but that was probably more my fault. Probably scared him into getting it out of there too quick. But good and bad. I thought he, had some nice kicks, and some kicks he's got to kick better.
We talked Saturday night. You said there was some good and bad with Asher too. I mean, after looking at what he did against that front against Michigan, I mean, how would you assess his performance overall?
I thought he did a nice job. Again, I still think he did a lot of good things, and did some things that you can't do at that position, and but I thought he did a nice job. He the moment wasn't too big for him, so but I was again, I not to dissect every play, but he did a lot of good things, and there's things that you can't do, and we got to get better. He's got to get better, make some better decisions, better choices. But for the most part, I was really pleased. I thought he did a nice job.
Coach, what do you like most about your starting quarterback? It seems like he gives like 110% like every play.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, you can say that about our left tackle and our safety and our right guard and, everybody, our defensive end. We play hard. We play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And we play with great effort, relentless effort. So I'm proud of our whole team, how hard we play. But, Asher's a good competitor. He competes. And that's what you want at that position. So, I was again. I thought for his first start, I thought he did a lot of good things.
Do you still plan to have Chase Cunningham take some snaps? I notice he did against Michigan. Thanks for the depth chart this week too, by the way.
You can thank Jim Harbaugh for that, because I'd have given you one last week, but since he didn't give us one, I wasn't going to give them one. Yes, we went in because, you're going into a game and, you're not sure how your quarterback's going to play because you've never seen him play in, we saw Asher, for a half, but, we'll continue to use both those guys. And, I think it's at this stage where we are at that position, I think you'll see that as we move forward for a little bit.
And how much of a benefit is it playing Michigan in that environment? It seems like you learned a lot about your team in a lot of different areas that maybe you wouldn't have if you played a different opponent. Is that true?
No.
No, not at all?
No, because, I knew our team going in that we wouldn't back down. I knew we'd play hard. I knew we would compete our tails off. So if we'd have played this out here in the parking lot Saturday at 6 o'clock, I'd have known the same thing. And I know what kind of team we've got. I know what kind of guys, what kind of men we've got in that locker room, and how important football is to them. So, I like the identity of our team right now.
I know Michigan's strength coming back this season was the offense with so many guys returning. Defensively, though, it seems like you guys held your own. How would you assess how they did on Saturday?
Again, at times, played really well, and at other times, we got to play better. And you look at Michigan had 7 scoring drives. 4 of them started on the plus 39 or closer, whether it was because of a fumble, because of a punt return. They had us backed up, twice there. We're kicking out of our own end zone, so they're getting good field position off that. So, 3 drives that started on the negative side of the 50, they got 2 field goals and a touchdown, so, I thought our defense did a good job. The goal line stand down there, I mean, you think about it. Here's mighty Michigan and little Middle Tennessee, and we stuffed their tail, down there on the goal line. That was a great testament of our defensive character, our defense's toughness. It just exemplifies our whole team. So, I was proud of our defense. Yeah, did a lot of good things, but we got to get better, and that's the same thing offensively. We did some good things, but we weren't consistent enough in the long run. Kicking game, we did some good things, but we weren't, good enough. There's still enough room that we can improve on, and that's our objective this week is to correct our mistakes and can continue to get better. This will be our 5th week of practice, so there's still a lot of improvement that we can make individually and collectively as a team. And that's our objective this week is to get better and find a way to win this game this weekend.
Talked with your wife after the game. She had a busy Saturday as well. I mean, what does it mean to you that she was able to go to Columbus earlier the day and then catch you guys at Ann Arbor at 7?
Sarah getting her some pub. It was, as a parent, to see your child, do something is always fun. And then, it's his first college game, Brent's first game coaching, so, she goes to her and Missy Brock, they flew up to Michigan Thursday, I think it was, and drive over there Saturday and, see the game and then come see her old husband in his game. So it was, she had a really good day. It was a lot of fun. I wish she would have been 2-0 or at least 1-1, but she wasn't. But it was a great experience for her to be able to, see her son coach the first game of his career.
Kind of along the same lines, you get a chance to talk to Brent and compare notes about playing the top 2 teams in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I talked to Brent last night, and we text after his game and then after our game on the bus there, but didn't really talk until late last night. But, same thing, he could say they were big and fast. And, after the first quarter, they held their own. It was 28-0. And then, I think they may even outscored them the last three quarters. And, us, we go toe-to-toe with them. I think they 13-7 in the second half of our game. So Florida Atlantic's a good football team. We know that. And, so it was probably two similar teams.
You said your team play out here in the parking lot after coming off the Power 5 team and now facing TSU. How do you guard against a letdown from them?
I talked to him about that yesterday, and I kind of alluded to it here this morning, that who you play should never determine how you play. And you've got to prepare for Tennessee State this week just like you did last week for Michigan. Next week when we play Duke, we've got to prepare for Duke just like we do for Tennessee State. So who you play doesn't determine the level of your preparation. It doesn't determine your energy, your enthusiasm, your level of excitement to play the game, because when you start differentiating that, well, we're playing, Michigan, and now we're playing, an FCS team, that's when you get beat. And, that we're not going to, I trust this team, and I don't believe, I know this team, there'll be no letdown mentally from a preparation standpoint. We're not going to allow that as a coaching staff, and they're not going to allow it, within that locker room, within themselves. So I've got no concerns about how we're going to prepare and approach this game, because there's no other game that we play that's more important than this one. And I know that's coach speak. I know everybody says it. But when you only get 13 guaranteed opportunities, we're going to take advantage of every one of them.
Does Sarah own any FAU gear?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know if she does or not. I haven't seen it.
Would she be allowed to?
It's her son. Yeah, you're good. What you wear, she ain't gonna wear it the week we play him, but I'm sure she could wear. She probably wore it at Ohio State. No, that's her son. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week. Yeah, thank you.